What's up, convoy? Back again with the most knowledgeable truck driver on all of YouTube. Figured I'd make this vlog today because I ain't made a video in like 3 months. So today we're just gonna vlog about my day. Right now I'm in Bowling Green, Ohio. Picked up a load of empty Coca-Cola bottles going over to Grand Rapids, Michigan, the Coca-Cola plant out there. So yes, for those of you out there who are wondering, and for those of you out there who still claim to this day I can't hold down a job, I'm still doing the Coca-Cola thing over 2 years later. With the same company. I have a different truck now. You guys knew before I had that Kenworth T680. I am now in a Freightliner Cascadia. Just one of those little itty-bitty bunks. It's not even really worth showing. This thing's got like no cabinet space in it whatsoever. It's pretty much just the front seats, and then right behind it, no space at all, little bed. Because they took my Kenworth away because they said that any driver who doesn't stay out at least 2 weeks doesn't get a full-size sleeper, and I definitely do not stay out longer than 2 weeks. In fact, it's rare these days I even stay out 2 days per week, because I also switched fleets, I guess we call it fleets. I went from the Coca-Cola dedicated regional fleet to just the Coca-Cola Michigan fleet. So, I mean, I'm in Bowling Green, Ohio, but I can pretty much throw a baseball and hit Michigan. And I don't really leave Michigan too often. I will on occasion go to like Columbus, Ohio, or Twinsburg, Ohio, but for the most part, I do most of my driving in Michigan, and I'm home damn near every single night. And this is what I wanted. So, I mean, it sucks I took away that nice, beautiful Kenworth and put me in this older, higher mileage, what I consider crappier Freightliner. In fact, last weekend, I was, 2 weekends ago? Whatever, a week or two ago, I was broke down in Grand Rapids for like 4 days. The slave cylinder in this truck went out, and it took forever to fix it and get up. Then there was confusion and stuff at the shop, between the shop and breakdown and whatnot. And then so it was 2 weeks ago, because then the week after, it was back in the shop because it had a axle seal leak. So they had to take care of that. But anyway, it's all back up and running now. I don't go very far. I don't have a full-size sleeper in that sweet Kenworth anymore because I go home too much, according to the company, which I would rather be home a lot more than have a nice, sweet, big-ass truck. That's just me personally. I know some of you long-haul old schoolers out there get offended by people when truck drivers say shit like that, but that's just me personally. I know I said something also like a week ago on Facebook, and it kind of got a couple truck drivers a little butthurt because I said, fuck trucking. Yep, and they didn't really understand what I meant. They kind of at first thought I meant fuck truck drivers. That's not what I mean. I meant fuck trucking, the industry in general. And I will explain that while I'm going down the road here. Alright, so what I mean when I say fuck trucking, I mean the industry in general. All the stuff that truck drivers don't get paid for, all the bullshit associated with it, all the lying, all the waiting, all the disrespect and mistreatment, shippers and receivers, for all those fucking paychecks you got that were substandard, you know, for the work that we do. You know, I feel overall in general the trucking industry is not a good industry. It's not very nice to drivers. We are the front line for all these companies, even if you're an owner-operator, for your own company out here, and for the shippers and stuff that are out there. Their product doesn't get where it needs to go unless it's for a driver. Now, I know that, you know, a lot of times you hear about a lot of drivers talking about people, like four-wheelers out here, people, you know, shopping at Walmart, that if you bought it, a truck brought it. And that's true. However, a lot of these companies, you know, like Walmart, wherever, any of these big companies that you pull for, they have to realize that without the driver, a truck driver, their shit doesn't need to get where it needs to go for people to buy it, thus making them money. So, I mean, like, the vast majority of places act as if drivers are just an inconvenience on their day. You know, how many drivers are watching this video right now that have been stuck in a dock for 5+ hours? You when their time's running down, they're not getting paid or not paid enough. There are some companies that pay, 15, 20, 30 bucks an hour, which is great. But most companies don't offer something like that. I know some companies will pay like 10 bucks an hour, but you could make more money driving down the road than you would just waiting there. And then a lot of times, even the companies that do pay, they want you to get, all these signatures and jump through hoops and, just a laundry list of shit you got to go through to get that pay. Most of the time they don't pay out correctly. So, a lot of it does come down to the pay. It's bullshit. A lot of it is uncontrollable. But I think that the industry itself, from every aspect of the industry, needs to realize that drivers are the make and break of the whole industry. From, like I said, from the shippers and receivers, how their shit gets to the shelf for people to buy, all the way to the companies that fucking lie to us, underpay us, bullshit us, and it sucks because a lot of drivers, and you see this mentality from the old school guys, I see a lot of my videos where I'm complaining about something where a company lied to me, or I had to wait around too long, or just like I don't even know why there was such a big split on one of my most popular videos, The Ugly Truth of Trucking, where people are like, that's just trucking, suck it up. I literally ran so hard, I ran myself into the ground and flipped my schedule around to a point where I picked up a load, thought I was going to fall asleep and kill somebody, and I pulled over, stopped. If you guys haven't seen it, I'll leave the link to the Ugly Truth of Trucking in the description. You can check it out if you don't know what I'm talking about. But that was basically the scenario, and there's like some people out there who are like, oh, that's just trucking, suck it up. That mentality baffles me. It's like, things get better when you don't accept them. If there's things out here that we don't like, we need to speak up about it and change it, or it's never going to change. That mentality of just suck it up is not correct. When everybody knows that there are certain issues in the trucking industry, and there's a big chunk of drivers out there who just consider it just trucking. It's like if you sit down and you eat a shit sandwich by anybody willing to make one for you, they're going to keep feeding you shit sandwiches and keep the prime rib for themselves. You got to go out there and get what you want. You got to speak up about it, So that's just my take on the whole, when I say fuck trucking, I don't want to sound disrespectful to any other drivers out there. It's just it's an industry thing, not so much a truck driver thing. So that's what I'm talking about. Not to mention too, probably looked a lot further than it was on the GoPro, but that van that just turned out in front of me was a little close. I wasn't too worried about hitting them or nothing, but that's another aspect, shitty aspect of when I say fuck trucking, is this disrespect from the general public we get too. For example, that van that turned out probably shouldn't have turned, but like I said, it probably looked a little further than it actually was. It was a little closer. It was definitely enough to make me pay attention to what he did and kind of think about covering my brake, but that's just a small, tiny example of what I'm talking about. Fuck trucking. Alright, so I just got here to the Flying J in Lansing, Michigan. Stopped to use a little trucker's room and get a little bit of fuel. And I think I jinxed myself earlier when I told you guys that I don't really leave Michigan too much, just occasionally to Columbus or Twinsburg or something, because an odd load popped up on my screen out of Grand Rapids looks like I'm going to Cincinnati. So I should have knocked on wood or something when I said I don't really go too far outside of Michigan. Which Cincinnati's not that far, but for this account it is. So I'm definitely not looking forward to that. Just for stuff like this, I do keep a set of clothes on the truck, and my bag I bring with me, I got soap and stuff, so it's not too huge of a deal. I just don't want to do it, and I will occasionally do these loads. However, as long as it becomes a habit. It does not become a habit. I'll be okay. I'll be a little bit pissy about it, but we'll get her done anyway. But only got, I don't know, just under an hour left to go till I deliver this load of bottles. It is a live unload, so I'm going to have a little bit of downtime there. I'm probably just going to deliver this load, hook up to the next load, and get her at least a little ways down the road. We'll see how much time I have left when I'm unloaded. It's usually pretty quick to unload these bottles, but sometimes they make us wait around, and I'm going to be about, I don't know, around 3 hours early to this delivery. So hopefully they'll take me in there early and get me unloaded. That way I can start on this Cincinnati trip. All right, just got here to the receiver. Had a little bit of rain on the way, but there's one truck ahead of me, and the guy who's unloading the trailer has already come out and got my paperwork, so I should be in and out of here pretty quick. And I kind of misread my Qualcomm a little bit ago when I said I had a load out of here going to Cincinnati. It's actually a load that picks up tomorrow in Bowling Green at 4 p.m. That goes down to Cincinnati, another load of those empty bottles, which is good. That means I get to go home tonight. I'm pretty sure, unless something comes up out of this place, is Coca-Cola. But I don't think so. But I still don't really want to go to Cincinnati, but it makes the situation a whole lot better that I get to go home tonight, because that means that put me into tomorrow, into Thursday, and then if I stay out tomorrow night, that means I should have a pretty early Friday and off on the weekend. So it just makes the whole Cincinnati trip that much better. My information on this Cincinnati trip's a little bit incomplete, I guess, because I was writing down all my info. There was no pickup number or nothing. I sent a message to my dispatcher asking where my pickup number was, and he said, I'm not sure. I have to get with the dispatch down in Cincinnati to find out. So me being on the Michigan fleet, I'm doing a favor for the Cincinnati fleet, and they didn't give my dispatcher up here in Michigan all of the information that was required. So we have to wait till tomorrow to find out the pickup number even. So hopefully that goes through good and there's no problems. I heard some of those Cincinnati guys, they have problems with getting some information. I got a friend of mine, he's actually a former student back from when I worked at Warner. I trained him how to drive a truck. His name's David. There you go, David. I said your name on a video. But he was down in the Cincinnati fleet, and he's been there for, I don't know, about a year or so, a little over a year, something like that. And he's told me that down there in Cincinnati, sometimes they'll send him up to Bowling Green to get a particular load, and come to find out that load that they were supposed to get left hours ago. So hopefully that doesn't happen to me, or maybe hopefully it does, because then they'll have to keep me up in Michigan. But we'll have to figure that out tomorrow, because all the other dispatch is gone for the day. So we're going to get unloaded here, hopefully not too much longer. They've been working on that truck for, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. And they're usually pretty quick once they actually start unloading these bottles. So hopefully I get in there quick and out of here quick and home. Alright, so we did have a load coming out of Grand Rapids here. Apparently a truck broke down who usually runs this route from Grand Rapids, Michigan over to Flint, Michigan. You can see here we got 4 pallets of Monster, and you guys probably can't. I can barely see it, so I know you guys can't. But looks like some not Mountain Dew. That's Pepsi, not Coke. But some Dr. Pepper, Coke Zero, and I can't tell beyond that. But gonna run this over to Flint, Michigan, then head home. Got 46,000 pounds worth of crap in here. Doesn't really look like it. I've pulled loads that looked more significant than this. Just delivered my load here in Flint, Michigan, and apparently this is a common load they really needed, and it was late because my dispatcher, when I left Grand Rapids, that's where he dispatches out of, he was calling this the Flint Express run. I thought that was just like a name that he dubbed this run, but when I got over here, the people were like, "Oh, do you have the Flint Express?" So apparently it's a thing with Coca-Cola. They need that run out of Grand Rapids over here to Flint. And they were asking me, it wasn't a dunnage load that returned like I had thought. I must have misheard my dispatcher. He just told me it was dunnage, and it's really not. It's actually a return load of product, some type of product that goes back to Grand Rapids. So apparently that's a thing, but the driver's truck broke who usually does this run. So I got it taken care of. I couldn't take the return trip, but we got the product here, and I'm pretty sure that's the most important part. The way everyone was acting around here was they really needed this product here from Grand Rapids. Everything went super smooth, like way too smooth. Like I got checked in with the guard probably under 30 seconds, hopped up in the back, pulled my strap, pulled around, walked into the warehouse. The people were standing right there. I handed them the paperwork. They're like, "Oh, this is the Flint Express." The yard spotter, he was standing right next to him. I'd explained the situation about the guy who normally does this run. His truck broke, and I was heading back to Detroit and not taking the return load. And he was like, "All right, no problem." Ran right away to his the yard spotter, pulled the return load out so I can put my load in, and I dropped. Everything was great. I saw one of our trailers over here, ran over, backed up to it, went and checked the back, loaded with shells. And that was the only trailer we had here. So I'm going to bobtail out of here and head down to Highland Park. There's another Coca-Cola warehouse that we take loads to. And hopefully there's an empty there. There usually is, but sometimes there's not. And I'm really hoping there's an empty trailer there because I could just stop by, hook up to an empty, and go park at the truck stop and go home. And if there's not, that means I'm going to have to wake up a little bit early and then go back to Highland Park and then check for empty there in the morning time. And if there's not one there in the morning, I'd have to go probably over to Belleville and check there. And then it becomes just a wild goose chase for an empty trailer, and that always sucks. So I'm about, I don't know, roughly 100 miles or so, 80, 100 miles or so north of Highland Park. I'm just going to hop on I-75 and head on down for a real nice, easy rooster cruise, especially being it's close to 1 a.m. now. The roads are going to be pretty clear. It's a pretty nice night out, just a little bit of sprinkling here and there. But overall, pretty dry and not freezing yet for being technically December 1st now. So should be a nice, easy night, or finish to the night, pending that Highland Park has an empty, and that's what I'm really hoping for. Alrighty, made it to Highland Park, and there was a few empty trailers here, and I hooked up to one. Now I'm going to head home. Today's been a pretty typical day. How my days usually go on the Coca-Cola account. Normally I do head down to Bowling Green, take a load over to Grand Rapids, and then come back over to the Detroit area, and then go home. This Cincinnati load that popped up when I first started on the Michigan account, Michigan fleet, I took one Cincinnati load that the other fleet that I used to be on, nobody was around, so they couldn't get it. So I ran the Cincinnati load. It was product right out of Grand Rapids down to Cincy. That's what I originally thought this Cincinnati load was. It's not. It's a bottle load. Maybe someone called off or something down there in Cincinnati. I'm not sure. But this is what I do. This is my job trucking. I'm on a dedicated account. For those of you who don't know or remember, I don't work directly for Coke, but I'm on the Coca-Cola dedicated with the company that I do work for. Still enjoying it so far. It's just like every other position, every other job out there. It's got its moments where it really, really pisses me off. But for the amount of time that I'm getting home and the pay that I'm receiving, can't really complain too much. So I'm still not really planning on going anywhere. But that's going to be pretty much it for today's vlog. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, please hit that like button. And if you're watching and you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's going to let you know every time I make a new video. And it helps me out tremendously. So I do appreciate you guys watching. And as always, run hard and get paid.